Basketball is back, everybody. It's officially time for hoops in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And tonight, the Marquette men's basketball season tips off against the Green Knights of St. Norbert's, even though it's just an exhibition. I'm Dan Avington alongside Zoe Comerford, and we are live at Fiserv Forum for this preseason matchup between the Golden Eagles and the Green Knights. Zoe, it feels great to be back in the stadium, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love being back in Fiserv, especially with this atmosphere, and definitely men's basketball is back, and that's super exciting.
It's been a turbulent offseason for the Golden Eagles. Following last year, Marquette was a consensus top 10 selection in all the experts polls, as high as number 2 in one of the ESPN selections. But after the departure of Sam and Joey Hauser, the season's expectations have become a lot murkier. But All-American Marcus Howard's back. Starters Sakar Adam and Theo John are back. Brendan Bailey has allegedly made big strides in the offseason. Kobe McEwen's expected to be a big force, and off the bench, there's guys like Ed Morrow, Greg Elliott, Samir Torrance, Dexter Akano, Jamal Kane, Jace Johnson. So many guys that are supposed to bring this Marquette team depth that they haven't seen the past couple years, Zoe.
Exactly, Dan. I was going to say the same thing, that Marquette has so much depth this season, even with the loss of the Hausers. Obviously, that was a huge blow to maybe their confidence a little bit in the offseason, but they've definitely worked together as a unit, and getting new freshmen like Samir Torrance and Dexter Akano will make a huge impact in the beginning of this season.
For the St. Norbert's Green Knights, they're the reigning regular season champions of the Division III Midwest Conference, having gone 19-8 last season. They lost to Lake Forest College in the conference championship a year ago, but they return all key contributors from the 2018-19 campaign, including their top 5 scorers, Joe Syriac, Connor Curtis, Wade Geenan, and Jared Murphy all started a ton of games last year, and a bunch of players off the bench make for a pretty potent rotation, Zoe.
Exactly, and they have that experience, Dan. They have a total of 7 juniors and 4 seniors on their roster with a total of 7 underclassmen, so they have all of that returning power from last year, especially Joe Syriac. We want to go into talking about him a little bit. He scored 14.8 points per game last year and led the team in that, so he'll be a huge asset for the Green Knights tonight.
St. Norbert coming off a loss last night in an exhibition against University of Wisconsin Green Bay. They lost that 79-72. So they've played a game on the season. It wasn't really a game, it was only an exhibition, so it doesn't count towards their overall record, but they've at least had a little bit of experience. This is Marquette's first time really coming out and playing all that much, even though they had the secret scrimmage against Indiana. This is the first home matchup, their first real exhibition in front of a crowd.
Yeah, exactly, Dan, and especially since St. Norbert's did have that extra experience yesterday in that matchup, so they already have kind of worked out what their chemistry is like. And for Marquette, obviously they had that scrimmage against Indiana where they won, but they really haven't done anything here at Fiserv yet, so this will be a good testament to see how they are a cohesive unit on the floor.
So we're just a couple seconds from tip-off here at Fiserv Forum. Marquette versus St. Norbert's, the starters for both teams tonight. For St. Norbert's, it'll be Joe Syriac, Nolan Byrne, Jacob Bulwark, Wade Geenan, and Connor Curtis. And for the Marquette Golden Eagles, it's the starting 5 that almost everyone predicted. It's Marcus Howard and Kobe McEwen in the backcourt. Sakar Adam will play the 3. Brendan Bailey will play a bit of a stretch 4. And then Theo John manning the paint.
Yeah, and Dan, actually, St. Norbert's has not won over a Division I foe since 1975. So if they could pull off this one would be an upset for them, even though it is only an exhibition.
Yeah, they haven't played a Division I opponent, I believe, since the 2012-2013 season. So it's been a while, and this year they have 2 of them. So they're trying to win at least one. We'll see if Marquette is able to topple them. Well, not topple them. I mean, Marquette's highly favored. But we'll see if Marquette is able to prove the predictions correct.
Exactly, Dan. And yesterday against Green Bay, they made it difficult for them. They actually only lost by 7 points, so that's not too much of a trounce. So we'll see here today if they can keep it a little close with Marquette.
Yeah, I mean, Syriac is a really good guard. A lot of these guys that are playing at St. Norbert's are players that could be playing at the D1 level, but they weren't going to get a ton of time. So these are good players, but a lot of them just weren't as highly recruited out of high school, or they really made the decision that they wanted to go D3, that they wanted to go to St. Norbert's. St. Norbert's is a really good program, especially for D3. They had an unbeaten streak that was like 52 games in the Midwest Conference for a little while under Coach Gary Gresh, and we'll see if they're able to do that this season, but they got a tougher task tonight. So St. Norbert's wins the tip. They're wearing their all-green uniforms. Marquette and the all-whites. It'll be Wade Geenan starting it off. He's their point guard. Works it over. Top of the key, Jacob Byrne working on Bailey. Over to Connor Curtis. They got to regroup. Byrne to the corner. No good, and it's going to be rebounded by Marcus Howard. Bulwark was unable to get that shot to go, so Marquette is going to get their first offensive possession of the season. Annam. Bailey working it around the perimeter. Kobe McEwen, the new face, only new face in the starting lineup, gets it. Top to Howard. Theo John has a couple inches on Connor Curtis. We'll see if Marquette utilizes that advantage today. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And Howard almost turned it over, but it was tipped by St. Norbert's.
Golden Eagles definitely lucky to keep that possession after it was tipped. It looked just like a bad pass, too.
Only 3 seconds left on the shot clock, so Marquette's going to need to get fancy.
They've got to do something quick. Just hand it off to McEwen or Howard.
Into Howard. Marcus Howard, 4-3, no good. Rebounded by Jacob Bulwark. 0-0. Now over a minute into the game. Syriacs. Curtis gets John to jump. Back over off the front of the rim. McEwen's going to run with it. Howard wide open, goes inside, kicks it out. Brendan Bailey, first three of the year, missed. And it's rebounded by the Green Knights. Neither team able to start out with the made basket on their first two possessions.
Both teams really struggling on the offense or just getting anyone open. Bailey was open on that one.
Geenan goes inside, kicks it back out. Annam picks it off. Annam has drawn the attention of a lot of opposing offenses. He's the best player on the Marquette defense, so you know you got to stay away from him. Theo John wide open on the pass from McEwen, slams it home, and Marquette has their first points of the season.
No Green Knight was there. Theo John was just right under the basket, ready for that pass.
Howard was defending Geenan. Syriacs gets it. Drives inside, kicks it back out. Geenan. It's picked off by Bailey. Marquette running once again. Annam in transition. Got it blocked by Syriacs. Foul is called. Didn't really look like a foul to me, but Marquette will be headed to the charity stripe for the first time.
Golden Eagles doing a really nice job of getting in the way of those passes and just picking them off. Already have 2 steals today.
Sakar Annam to shoot. Nails the first. Marquette last year with both Hausers and Marcus Howard, a pretty strong free throw shooting team. Annam was the only one really out of the guards that struggled to shoot him, and he misses the second. But that's something that he definitely worked on in the offseason, because that's something that he needs to be able to knock those down if he wants to stay in the final couple minutes of games. Syriacs trying to back down. Good pass inside. Jacob Bulwark, 6'2" guard, gets on the board. 3-2, Marquette leads. Theo John wants it inside. Working on Connor Curtis, left-handed hook shot, no good. Kind of rushed that one. Not exactly needing to go that fast.
Definitely didn't get his feet set or ready.
Sakar Annam defending. It's worked to Byrne. And back to Geenan. Goes inside. Pass it back out. Syriacs. Long two. No good. Rebound. Kobe McEwen. Ed Morrow set to check in for the Golden Eagles. McEwen driving to the cup. It's good. That's what McEwen does best. Driving right inside and putting one up through contact.
His first points of his Marquette career.
At Media Day, he was telling everybody, that's what I do best. I attack the rim, and I get those points inside the paint. As St. Norbert's gets called for a travel, Greg Elliott and Ed Morrow come in place, replacing Marcus Howard and Theo John. So it'll be McEwen, Bailey, Elliott, Morrow, and Annam. Who's going to be the scorer here? That's the real question. It's nice to see Greg Elliott back in a Marquette uniform. Morrow gets double teamed. It's sort of a matchup zone kind of style of defense so far. They've been doubling inside.
It's been really effective, too, because neither team has been really that successful on the offensive.
Elliott drew the foul against St. Norbert's, and it prompts our first media timeout. 5-2 Marquette leads, 16 minutes remaining in the first half. Annam has 1 point. McEwen and John both with 2. Bulwark, the only bucket for St. Norbert. So a bit of a slow start for both offenses. Neither team really able to get much going, but it's just an exhibition. These teams are going to be trying out a lot of new stuff, a lot of new lineups. Even though it's the starters, they're still trying to get chemistry.
Yeah, exactly, and especially with Marquette, they need to figure out what that chemistry is. Obviously, with the loss of the Hausers and the addition of Kobe McEwen and Greg Elliott to the lineups this year, it's going to be definitely just figuring out how to get that chemistry between Marcus and the other guards.
Yeah, I mean, that has been the biggest trouble for Marquette. Last year, they really struggled because it was only Marcus that was ever a ball-dominant guard. So he was the point guard, even though he's more of a prototypical shooting guard, because he is such a strong shooter that he really should just be running around the whole time and getting the ball and chucking up some threes. And they didn't have a real point guard last year because McEwen sat out because of his transfer year. Greg Elliott was out all year with a couple different injuries. Joseph Chartouni never panned out to be what Marquette wanted him to be. I mean, Marcus was the only guy that wanted the ball a lot of last year, at least guard-wise, but now Elliott comes back, McEwen comes back, and Marquette adds a couple freshmen that are supposed to be point guards. Samir Torrance and Dexter Acano are both ball-dominant guards. These guys are going to be able to give Marcus the chances that he wants.
Exactly, and especially when I was talking to Marcus during Media Day, he said that he's excited for some other players to kind of step up and kind of take that pressure off of him so he's not always the one who has to have those 50-point nights.
Yeah, I mean, of course, defenses are going to key in on Marcus Howard. He's the reigning Big East Player of the Year. He was an All-American. He's a preseason All-American as well. I mean, just looking at his stats, you would guess that he's probably the best player in Marquette history. At least by the numbers, he's going to be a 2,000-point scorer. He's already at 1955. He set the single-season scoring record last year with 851 points. I mean, he averaged 25 points a game last year.
That's just insane, and he is 30 points away from being the all-time leading scorer at Marquette, topping Jarrell McNeil. So he has a lot of games left, so he will definitely be able to do that. So he's obviously going to be a huge asset for the Golden Eagles on offense, but having these other players and this depth at the guard position, something that Marquette really didn't see much last year.
So we'll resume play here. It's Annam, Morrow, Howard, Elliott, and Jamal Kane. That's the unit for the Golden Eagles. Annam has it at the top of the key. He's going to go inside, but kicks it back out to Howard. Howard tries to throw up an oop, but it is mishandled by the Golden Eagles, and that's going to be St. Norbert's ball. It was a good thought from Howard, but Marquette just could not figure it out.
Seemed like Jamal Kane kind of fumbled with the ball a little bit too much and couldn't hold on to possession.
It looked like he and Ed Morrow both went up for it, and they both got their hands on it, and as a result, neither actually established possession. Michael Payant comes in for the Green Knights. Geenan gets swatted by Ed Morrow. That was a two-handed block. He put that one into the front row.
Morrow's just going to be such a big presence on the defensive, playing in the post and being that defense that Marquette really didn't have that much of last year.
Ed Morrow is one of my favorite players to watch. I've said for a little while now that if I were a better basketball player, I would like to be Ed Morrow. He's so much fun to watch on the defensive and offensive ends. As Connor Curtis chucks up a three, and that was way off. That one didn't even hit the rim.
Not even close.
But getting back to what I was saying about Morrow, he's a real strong guy. He has broad shoulders, so he's able to box out really well. He's a good rebounder. He can really dunk the ball with some ferocity. And he does the same thing with his blocks. So he's just a really fun player to watch, and we'll see if he's able to improve his talents this year in his final season as a Marquette Golden Eagle. Howard misses the three. Marquette seems to be forcing up shots right now, not creating great opportunities. Torrance set to check in. They work it over to Syriacs, defended by Greg Elliott. Good defense Inside to Connor Curtis. He's got Morrow. Tries to back him down. And nobody, absolutely nobody, had the trailer right there. Jared Murphy went right in for the rebound and put up an easy layup. 5-4 now. That's just poor communication. Annam going into the bucket. No good. Morrow gets the board. Gets blocked. Gets the rebound again. Got blocked again. So Marquette now with just 12 seconds left on the shot clock. They're resetting. Elliott kicks it out. Jamal Kane, corner three. It's good. Jamal Kane knocks one down from the corner, gives Marquette an 8-4 advantage.
That's the first three from either team. Marquette is now 1 for 4 on threes, not really having success outside on the perimeter.
But hey, if you're Jamal Kane, you're going to take it. You're taking anything you can get. Torrance, Akano, and McEwen both checking in. Bit of a circus shot there from Wade Geenan. It goes out of bounds against the Golden Eagles, so it'll be Green Knights ball. Marquette has too many guys on the floor right now. And now they're good. So it's Theo John replacing Ed Morrow.
Samir Torrance seeing his first time on the court as a Golden Eagle.
So is Dexter Akano.
Both freshmen on the court.
Or wait, no, Akano didn't come on, even though he was checked in at the table. My apologies. Nice post move, but it is no good from number 20, Nolan Byrne, I believe. Marquette tries the entry pass to Theo John, but it's picked off. They telegraphed that one way too easy. So Marquette now back on defense. Ethan Riniker drives inside, kicks it back out to Byrne. Great pick play. Jared Murphy gets to the bucket with ease. 8-6 now. Marquette got completely caught off guard.
I feel like that's happened a couple times already. The Golden Eagles just having these miscommunications and not doing a great job on defense and staying with their guy.
Torrance out on the perimeter, gives it inside. Marcus Howard, his first points of the year. Nice little baseline J, 10-6. Howard now defending Jack Pettit. St. Norbert's on offense. Kane fights through a screen. That one almost got overthrown. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Kicking outside, Murphy working his way in. Nice little hesitation move to get himself free and then put up the floater. 6 points for Jared Murphy, 6 of the 8 for the Green Knights. Theo John has it on the perimeter. Don't see him on the perimeter too often unless he's setting a screen.
Has been working on his threes, though.
He said if he's got an open one, he's going to take it. I would like to see that. Howard tried to force one into McEwen. McEwen's going to have to try a little turnaround jumper, and he was called for a travel. Media timeout on the court at the under 12, and it is 10-8. Marquette leads. Man, not exactly a great start for the Golden Eagles. Even though they're winning, they do not look good.
No, I was going to say the same thing, Dan. I think this is a way lower scoring game than I thought it was going to be at the start. I definitely thought Marquette was going to come out a little bit stronger than they are. I mean, defensively, they're doing okay, but I thought they were going to run with the two bigs, but they haven't really done that in the lineup yet. But I think they're really struggling on offense. And I mean, they're 4 for 10 from the floor and 1 for 4 from the outside. The only person who hit that three was Jamal Kane, so really struggling on the outside. And Marcus Howard is 1 for 3 from the floor as well, so something you don't see that too often, him struggling. But they're really, I think St. Norbert's is doing a really good job of covering Howard and kind of forcing him to give it to a different player.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the story of the year, is whether or not the other teams can contain Marcus Howard and what he's going to do with the ball when Marquette is not able to go right to him. I mean, you have to assume that the post is going to start to see a little bit more action. I mean, somebody is going to need to be the scorer for this Marquette team when Howard is being guarded as well as the other teams are able to, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Marquette right now is kind of struggling in the paint, especially with missed passes and just kind of not taking their time that much with those passes. They're just kind of forcing things, and that's really not how you score. You can't force them.
And something notable to note today, Jace Johnson is on crutches on the sideline. It was officially diagnosed as a knee sprain that he suffered in practice yesterday, according to the Marquette men's basketball Twitter. So not a great sight if you're a Marquette fan, but hopefully it is only a knee sprain. But the problem with knee sprains sometimes is that they're a precursor to ligament damage. So don't want to speculate anything at all, but you never know.
Exactly, and them losing him, even for this exhibition game, they can't really get in. He can't get in the flow of like how the team plays against an opponent, especially since they've only really been doing scrimmages. I guess they did have that one against Indiana, but he hasn't really played against other competition like at Fiserv yet. And being 7-footer, and Marquette really wanted to play with defense with those two bigs, and they're really not able to do that today because Johnson is out.
They can still play two bigs if they really want to. I mean, you could run Ed Morrow and Theo John, but then you're going to exhaust both of your options, and you're going to need to go small for the remainder of until they're not tired anymore. But we resume play here at Fiserv Forum. Marquette in their full court press, a bit more of a trap than it was a man-to-man press. Almost forced a turnover, but it's a kickball, so St. Norbert's going to inbound. Howard got caught off guard. Nice little jump for Patrick Danon. 10-10. Danon has a super interesting story. He has been nearly deaf since he was 6 months old. So he learned how to play basketball without being able to hear. As an offensive foul against Theo John is called. I think that was a moving screen is what they officially called.
Now the score's tied.
So St. Norbert's going to try to take the lead. Going over to his teammate. Three-pointer's way off.
Air ball.
Man, Ethan Rineker absolutely whiffed on that one.
I mean, last season he had a 28.9% three-point percentage, so he's not the best from outside the perimeter.
Not at all. Might want to stop taking him.
Especially with the three-point line further back this year.
Torrance gets an open three, knocks it down. Symir Torrance, his first points in a Marquette uniform. Danon gets the ball on the top of the key. Over to Rineker. Works inside, kicks it back out. Tyler Goen. Works over to Murphy. Murphy trying to work on Kobe McEwen. Byrne inside, defended by Bailey, just off before the shot clock went off. Somehow got it around the outstretched arms of Bailey. McEwen inside to Theo John. Foul is called against number 20, Nolan Byrne.
It almost looked like an overthrow from McEwen to John.
Something interesting when looking through the roster for St. Norbert's is almost every single one of their players is a native of Wisconsin. There's a Colorado, a couple Illinois, but most right at home in Wisconsin, either from De Pere or Ripon or Green Bay or something. As Brendan Bailey able to get a bucket.
Huge dunk from him.
He's showcased athleticism before. And right there, he threw one down right-handed. Danon has it on the outside. Defended by Morrow. Adam looked like a defensive back right there, just batting that one away. It'll be an inbound under the basket for the Green Knights. Connor Curtis comes in. Nolan Byrne comes off. Both teams really using their substitutions here, trying to figure out some rotations.
Trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Akano now in the game. Poke that ball away. Out of bounds against St. Norbert's. 15-12, Marquette leads. I'm Dan Avington alongside Zoe Comerford here at Fiserv Forum. Marquette versus St. Norbert's, and the only exhibition of the season for the Marquette Golden Eagles. Marquette running a bit of a motion offense. Akano pump fakes on the outside, goes in. Definitely could have pulled the trigger there, but decided not to. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. McEwen drives inside, gives it to Morrow. Scoop layup is good. 17-12 after Ed Morrow took the feed from McEwen. Marquette 5 of their last 5. And St. Norbert's 4 of their last 5.
Definitely both teams having better luck with their offenses in the past couple minutes.
Danon wide open. Long range bomb from Patrick Danon, 6'8" sophomore center. Averaged 1.1 points per game last year, has 5 today. Bailey called for a travel. Sloppy play.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to Danon on that last 3, he was 0% from 3 last year and just made that one easy.
When you're that open, I guess it's hard to miss it. Syriac's back in the game, the leading scorer for this St. Norbert's team, as Tyler Goen throws it away. And a nice behind-the-back crossover to the corner. Kobe McEwen knocks it down. 20-15. Kobe McEwen nailed one from the corner right there. McEwen now a 5.22 stat line. Now comes down. Brendan Bailey for 3. Missed it. Morrow, rebound, slam. Timeout, St. Norbert's.
Golden Eagles just being so efficient on offense. 7 of their last 8 and shooting at 56%.
That play right there, exactly what I was talking about with Morrow. He just grabs a rebound, uses his frame, goes right back up, slams one home. All momentum's going the Golden Eagles' way. St. Norbert's needs a timeout. 22-15, Marquette leads. Kobe McEwen now the leading scorer for the Golden Eagles with 5. 4 for Ed Morrow, a 3 each from Torrance and Kane, and then Bailey, John, and Howard have 2. Sakar Annam with 1. So Marquette really sharing the scoring so far. No players really dominating in the box score. 3 rebounds each from McEwen and Morrow. 3 assists for Kobe McEwen. He's really a jack of all trades. He can do whatever you need him to. He's a scorer. He can knock down a 3. He's also really good at going inside. That's probably his best asset. But he is a point guard. He can play that point guard spot. He can dish it out. He'll grab the rebound, go in transition, find somebody open. He can play defense. He has good ball handling skills. There's not much this kid can't do. Exactly,
and I think he has really good court vision too, seeing which one of his teammates are open and really only taking shots when he knows he can hit them down, and he hasn't missed a shot today. He's 2 for 2 from the field and has done a really good job of kind of passing it to his open teammates and seeing who has the best chance of getting the points.
Meanwhile, for St. Norbert's, Jared Murphy with 5, Patrick Danon, or no, Murphy has 6, Danon has 5, and then Bulwark and Byrne each have 2. Rebounds, Bulwark leads with 2, and then a bunch of players with 1 assist. St. Norbert's shooting just 16% from beyond the arc. Marquette, meanwhile, 42% from 3, a pretty good percentage if they're able to keep that up. We'll see if Coach Wojo decides to give Marcus Howard the ball a little bit. Like, do you try to open up his scoring a little bit, or do you make sure that you're getting these other guys used to scoring too?
I think I would, if I was Coach Wojciechowski, I would have the other guys score because he knows that Marcus can score. I think the other thing is trying to figure out what other players can score inside, can score outside, and really has the best shot. And whoever's hot, I would give the ball to, and it seems like Kobe McEwen is that player.
22-15. Marquette leads. 7:38 remaining in the first half. Marquette in their full court trap once again. Annam is up at the point. Geenan gives it up to Connor Curtis after they finally got it down court. Working it around the perimeter. Curtis wants it inside. He's got a mismatch. Syriacs with time running out. McEwen is called for an arm bar. So shot clock will be reset to 20. That's the first personal against Kobe McEwen. Interesting call there. It looked like he just kind of fell and his arm was forced into Syriacs, but understandable given the amount of contact. Syriacs, open three, no good. That one hit the top of the backboard, but it's rebounded by Morrow anyway. Annam coming down the floor. Draws a switch, he was doubled. Inside, Morrow gives it up to Bailey. Nice give and go, two-man game from Morrow and Bailey converts. 7-0 Marquette run in the last minute, 15 seconds. Geenan hoists up a three, air ball again. Is that 3 air balls on the night for St. Norbert so far?
Yeah, that's 3.
Sheesh.
It's always 2 from beyond the 3-point line. I mean, they're 1 for 8 from the 1 for 8.
Is the new 3-point line throwing them off?
Definitely,
Maybe?
I think it is.
Could be. Depth perception's a little bit off, maybe. McEwen from the corner. It's good. Kobe McEwen gives his team a 12-point advantage. And Zoe, something that should be noted from this game is that St. Norbert's is not used to playing in arenas like this. They normally play in their tiny Division III arenas. And coming into Fiserv Forum is an incredible experience for them, but it's also pretty overwhelming when you're coming into an NBA arena.
Exactly. I would feel super overwhelmed if I was playing for St. Norbert's because, like you said, they usually play in a small arena. This is huge with a lot of people here watching.
McEwen tried to go to the cup, up and under, couldn't get it, but Ed Morrow capitalizes, grabbed the board, and put it up amid 3 people.
Golden Eagles 9 of their last 11 on a 14-3 run over the past 4 minutes.
Foul, I believe, against Dexter Arcano. Marquette is going to do a hockey substitution here.
Wow.
5 guys come off, 5 come on.
Trying to figure out which one's the best lineup.
It'll be Howard, Elliott, Torrance, Jamal Kane at the 4, and Theo John in the paint. Ed Morrow now up to 6 points, 5 rebounds, or 7 rebounds, actually.
He's only played 7 minutes.
The scoreboard said 5 when it listed his totals, but looking at the stats, it's actually 7. Wow. Syriacs puts one up. I don't know how he got that over Jamal Kane to begin with, but he knocked down the left-handed hook shot while falling away.
That was impressive.
Syriacs is a reigning second-team All-Midwest. He's a pretty big force when he plays against the opponents in his conference. Greg Elliott from the corner. Clanks off the front of the rim. Good defense from Symir Torrance. Murphy cutting in. Geenan, open 3. Missed it. Rebound by St. Norbert's, and Jacob Byrne able to put it back in. A couple rebounds. Gave the Green Knights a few more offensive possessions. Howard, no look pass to Theo John. Theo got fouled, so he'll head to the free throw line. Just the 3rd and 4th appearances of the game for either team. Marquette has had all of the free throws so far today.
Theo John last season had a 50.6% free throw shooting. So he got half of them. So we'll see if he got better from last year to this year.
Swish is the first. For a second there, the scoreboard said that Marquette had 337 points. That would be a bit of a blowout, 337 to 19. But it's been rectified, so we're deprived of that one. John swishes the second one. 31-19. 4 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first frame. Marquette with the press again. Torrance tried to poke one away. He has to scramble to get out to the corner. Another missed three from Payan. Jamal Kane in transition. Marquette slows it down. Howard driving. Gives it to Kane. Jamal Kane up and under. No good. Theo John rebound. Corner. Greg Elliott drives in, and Marquette's going to reset. Couple good chances for the Golden Eagles there. Kane. No good from free throw line extended. Theo John gets called for a foul. He really just got tangled up there amid three guys, and he didn't have much of a chance to recover. So he got his hand on somebody, and that's going to be Theo John's second foul as we head into the under 4 immediate timeout.
Golden Eagles definitely doing a better job at scoring in the past 5 minutes. They're now at 50% shooting from the field and 40% from three. Meanwhile, Green Knights are really struggling from three, only 10%, 1 for 10. So they should probably stop taking those threes once they realize that they do better in the paint. They have 12 points of their 19 in the paint, so really doing an effective job from inside.
And the old adage in basketball is everything starts from the inside. So if you're working, like if everything is working on the inside, then from there, if you're making those shots, the teams are going to close in on you. If you're driving to the lane, they're all going to close in, and then that's when you kick it out. That's when you give it to somebody in the corner to knock one down. So I like the idea there from the Golden Eagles that start everything through the inside, and when St. Norbert's figures that out, kick it out to the corner.
Yeah, and the Golden Eagles have done a really nice job from the corner with the corner threes so far, and I think that's something that they've obviously, having Marcus Howard being such a crucial three-point shooter is really helpful, but having other guys who can do it as well, like Jamal Kane, Greg Elliott, and Colby McEwen, having many different players rather than just having Marcus Howard being the one to shoot from the outside.
So it's 31-19 here at Fiserv Forum. Marquette leads St. Norbert's, the Division III school out of De Pere, Wisconsin. Fun fact about St. Norbert's, the Green Bay Packers have hosted their training camp at St. Norbert's since 1958, which is the longest running training camp facility in the NFL.
Wow.
Training camp
That's
partnership
cool.
facility. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So tiny little St. Norbert's in De Pere, Wisconsin. Division III school. They're hosting the Green Bay Packers training camps every year.
It's a cool little fact. But yeah, I think my surprise from St. Norbert's is that Joe Syriacs isn't having a better game. I mean, he has 2 points right now, and he usually, last season, he averaged 14.8, so he's really not having a good day on the offensive. Really struggling. He's 1 for 5 from the field.
So we resume play. They get it inside. Marquette kicks it out, and it'll be St. Norbert's throw in from pretty much free throw line extended.
Almost poked out by Greg Elliott.
Torrance defending. Shot clock violation. They had no idea. Absolutely none.
They didn't even try to put up a shot. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that it was about to expire.
Jared Murphy had his back to the basket and was like surveying the rest of the court and just had absolutely no idea that the shot clock was winding down on him.
Got to pay a little bit more attention to that.
Torrance gets it in the corner. To Elliott. Greg Elliott drives in the lane. Offensive foul is called. Nolan Byrne drew the charge. Elliott did not like that call.
Definitely put his shoulder into him a little bit too hard.
Marquette scrambling to get back after the trap. 31-19, under 2.5 to play. Kane defending. Howard let his guy get wide open. Jared Murphy knocks down a triple. 31-22, Murphy now up to 9 points, a game high.
He's 4 for 4 too. He's had a very efficient day on offense compared to the rest of his team.
Elliott went inside, gave it to Jamal Kane, but pass went awry. Kane, Torrance, and Greg Elliott come out. Annam, McEwen, Bailey replace him. Jack Pettit, now the point guard. For the Green Knights. Shot clock winding down, now under 5 seconds. Riniker over to Murphy. Murphy from the three, no good. Marcus Howard rebound. Howard inside to Morrow. It gets poked away. It'll be Marquette throwing from under the basket. So the way this game came about, a lot of people might be wondering how Marquette and St. Norbert's were matched up, but head coach Gary Gresh for the Green Knights, his dad went to Marquette and played during the Al McGuire years, and when he got the job, he talked about wanting to play against the top 2 D1 schools in Wisconsin as Ed Morrow slams one home, gives Marquette a 33-22 lead. But he always talked about wanting to play against multiple Division I schools in the preseason, and this year he got that opportunity. He played against UW Green Bay, where Gresh played when he was in his collegiate years, and now they're playing against Marquette. Bailey with an emphatic swat right there. But Gresh talked about what a cool opportunity this is for his players to get to play in Division I arenas. I mean, the UWGB arena is less than the Marquette one because this is an NBA arena, but it's still cool for them to get to play in bigger spots, bigger stadiums, and today is a bit of a shock for a lot of these players for St. Norbert's. And a cool opportunity to get to play against some high-level talent.
Exactly. It's got to give them some confidence, too, that they can keep up with these D1 teams like Green Bay and Marquette.
Marquette takes a timeout on the floor with 40 seconds remaining. 33-22, the Golden Eagles lead. Gary Gresh in his 14th season as the head coach of the St. Norbert's College Green Knights. In his college years, he played at University of Wisconsin Green Bay. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year for them. He's most well known for shutting down future NBA Hall of Famer Jason Kidd in the NCAA round of 64 when UWGB played against Cal. Then he was the assistant at Green Bay, was an associate head coach at Youngstown State, followed by head coach at Lakeland, another D3 school, and now finally found a home at St. Norbert's. They've won 8 Midwest Conference titles in 10 years. But back to the action. Howard driving into the lane. Couple pivots. Howard forces one up and gets it to go.
Got it through 2 Green Knights, too.
35-22. 17 seconds left. St. Norbert's going to run out the clock here, create one final opportunity. Pettit driving in. Wide open three-pointer for Danon, but he missed it. Howard now going to get a final desperation heave from half court. Just barely missed. Hit the backboard and caromed away, but it was close. So Marquette heads into the halftime break leading 35-22 over St. Norbert's.
Yeah, the Golden Eagles have really done a nice job in the latter half of the half, really doing a good job on the offensive. They ended with a 54% from the floor and 40% from three, so really nice job from the perimeter compared to St. Norbert's, who I guess is now 15% from three, but St. Norbert's is 0 of their last 4, and they've been on a scoring drought, and I think that has something to do with Marquette's defense and how aggressive they're playing and trying to full court press and just put all the pressure on that offensive.
So we're going to take a quick break here on Marquette Radio, but when we come back, Zoe and I will have the call of the second half of action at Fiserv Forum, but stick around for the halftime show presented by John Leuzzi back in the studio. So Zoe and I will be back in about 13 minutes or so, but keep it locked right here for the halftime show from my man John Leuzzi. Welcome back to Fiserv Forum. I'm Dan Abington alongside Zoe Comerford, live at this matchup between the Marquette Golden Eagles and the St. Norbert's College Green Knights. Zoe, it was an interesting first half. Marquette leads 35-22 entering the second, but St. Norbert definitely did not look good there.
Yeah, Dan, I think both teams actually, the stats are kind of misleading. I mean, it says Marquette has hit 54% from the field and St. Norbert's had hit 34% from the field. And obviously, St. Norbert's had struggled a lot with three-pointers and from the outside, but Marquette has done a pretty good, decent job at that. But I think Marquette has really struggled at the beginning of the game. I mean, the times that it was tied 27 times in the first half. And I think the Golden Eagles, though they led for 17 minutes, they had a huge span where they were just struggling. They just couldn't hit up shots in the first 5 minutes. But I think they have really kind of stepped it up in this latter half of this first half. But we'll see what happens in the second if St. Norbert's can kind of get their outside shot going. I mean, they're practicing it right now, so hopefully they'll kind of get that going if they want to stay in this game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, St. Norbert's really struggled from the outside there, but I think probably the more important piece for most Marquette fans is that the Golden Eagles didn't look great there either, and they're playing against a D3 opponent who they should really be annihilating here. And there were stretches where Marquette looked really good, but they've struggled to score. Only 35 points in that first half, which is not great for a Marquette offense that's supposed to have a lot of different scorers. Marcus Howard only with 4 points on 4 attempted shots, 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. Maybe he's trying to be a little more of a facilitator during this game, but not a ton of scoring from anybody for the Golden Eagles, and that is not a good sign for the coming weeks.
No, definitely not. And I mean, you expect Marcus Howard to have a be better than 0 for 2 from beyond the arc, but I think he's done a really nice job of getting it to the open man. And I think Kobe McEwen, I mean, he leads the Golden. He's tied with Ed Morrow for the lead for the Golden Eagles with 8 points apiece. But I think he's had a really good day of just knowing when he's open and just shooting and going for it. And I think that's given him a lot of confidence.
And the one thing is, especially because this is only an exhibition, you take a lot of these things with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you might have only scored 35 points, but you're also mixing in so many different rotations. I mean, Marquette did a hockey-style substitution at one point there. They brought 5 in, 5 came out. So it's just, you can't put too much on these games. I mean, they're a good precursor to the rest of the year, but, I mean, you can't necessarily say, like, okay, nobody's scoring today, nobody's going to score all season long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development that still happens in the coming weeks that's going to be really important, but I mean, things today are important, of course, but they're not the be-all, end-all.
No, they're definitely not. And I remember Steve Wojciechowski saying at me today, he said, we want to get to that point, but I don't think we're good right now, but they're still working on it. So they have a lot of different things to try out.
So the second half is underway here at Fiserv Forum. Kobe McEwen drives into the bucket, goes up, gets fouled. So McEwen will be headed to the charity stripe. He will take his first free throws of the day. Only 4 total free throws shot today by either team, all 4 by Marquette. Now the 5th and 6th will also come by Marquette as McEwen switches home the first. Kobe McEwen, a really intriguing player for the Golden Eagles. 6'4", redshirt freshman guard out of Toronto, Canada. He was one of the nation's top recruits coming out of high school. Went to Utah State, transferred to Marquette after his sophomore season. He was a 2016-17 Mountain West Freshman of the Year. and he was a third-team All-American, or not All-American, All-Mountain West in his sophomore season. But he really could be a perfect fit alongside Marcus Howard in this system. And he knocks down both free throws. St. Norbert now on the offensive end. And Siriakis finally gets a bucket. 37-24 as Siriakis gets just his second made basket of the day. He's 2 for 6 from the field, but making that one's got to feel good. Howard drives to the lane, misses the easy layup, tries to get a steal, but Siriakis protects it. 37-24, under 19 minutes to play. Curtis was wide open for a second there, but Brendan Bailey, nice job of help side defense, came in and stood his ground up until Theo John was able to get there. Nice sidestep for McEwen, can't get the bucket. Theo John is fighting about 3 players for that rebound, and I believe it's a jump ball. That'll go to the Green Knights.
Kobe McEwen did a great job of kind of swerving and maneuvering around that St. Norbert's College defense and kind of getting up there and just couldn't make the shot go in.
Good little Euro step, but he could not get it to go. Bulwark goes inside, almost got blocked, but he finishes over Bailey and under Theo John. 37-26.
That was impressive ball handling with 3 guys on him for Marquette.
Bailey, free throw line extended, knocks down a 3. 40-26 after the Brendan Bailey tray. He finally is able to get one going from beyond the arc.
Bailey was 25.4% beyond the arc shooter last season, but made that one look real easy.
Geenan kicks it back out to Byrne. One main thing to notice about this St. Norbert team, which I will say after Sakar Annam gets a steal and goes the length of the floor. So a nice scoop and score there for Sakar Annam, but they're without Joe Lemon, number 52, 6'5" senior forward. He's a big post presence for them, so losing Joe Lemon due to his ACL tear in the spring is a big loss for the Green Knights, and that might be why they seem a bit discombobulated.
Definitely, he had 7 rebounds per game last season and really had 8.5 points per game, so it was really a big post presence, and without him, I mean, no one to counter really Theo John or Ed Morrow.
He had 27 starts last year, started every single one of their games. Knocked down Brendan Bailey from the corner. 2 threes for Brendan Bailey coming in this second half. Bailey now up to 10 points. Game high along with McEwen. Byrne drew the foul against Howard. That one's going to be on the floor. Howard just kind of scrambled to get there in time and slammed right into Byrne. Jared Murphy enters the game. Connor Curtis comes off. Curtis still held to 0 points. He was a first-team All-Midwest player last year, averaged 14.5 points, 7.4 rebounds per game. Missed the last 8 games due to injury, so he might still be recuperating from that. As Geenan comes in and finally gets a bucket of his own on a nice jumper. Sakar Annam now joining the 3-point party.
Golden Eagles now shooting 54% from the field.
4 for 4 on their last couple field goals.
Done a really nice job from beyond the arc, just making it look easy, getting open.
Theo John wrestles down the rebound. Howard driving into the lane. He gives it up to Theo John, no call. Looks like he might have been shoved, but that was to no avail. Team's fighting for the rebound. It'll be Marquette possession. After the media timeout, though, 15:48 remaining in the game, and we'll head into the under 16. Marquette leads 48-30. They're 4 of their last 5 field goals. Brendan Bailey and Kobe McEwen each up to 10 points now. Jared Murphy has 9 for St. Norbert. 7 assists for Kobe nobody higher than 1 on the Green Knights in the assist column. 5 rebounds for Syriac. Ed Morrow with the game high of 7.
Golden Eagles doing a really nice job from beyond the arc, especially in this second half. I mean, they're 7 for 13, and a lot of those have come recently from Brendan Bailey.
So 15:48 left in the game here in this exhibition. Really interesting time in Marquette sports right now, Zoe. We've got all the fall sports still playing. Women's soccer plays on Thursday, and their final game of the season that determines postseason berth. If they get a win, they clinch a spot in the quarterfinals of the Big East playoffs. Men's soccer only with 2 more games remaining, I believe. Volleyball still right in the thick of their Big East slate. They've got Xavier and Butler this weekend. Friday night is Xavier. Zoe will be on the call.
I will.
Marquette University Television TV broadcast of Marquette volleyball versus Xavier. Then they got Butler at Butler on Sunday because of the travel schedule. They have 1 home game and 1 away. And then they got DePaul the next weekend, and then it's Creighton and Providence the week after, and then Marquette finally enters the, they enter their Big East tournament slate at the Al-McGuire Center. So if Marquette makes it there, and we will be covering all of that.
Yes, we will, and it's definitely an exciting time. I mean, in Marquette sports, especially with volleyball and basketball, they'll probably be overlapping for at least 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, if volleyball makes it as far as people are expecting, if they make it to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, that's going to go until about
December 15th?
Yeah, December 15th, 14th, right around that area, depending on which round they make it to. So it'll be at least a month and a half of overlap for those 2 teams. And so 2 teams will be playing in the Al-McGuire Center, women's volleyball and women's basketball. New look Marquette women's basketball team for this year. They looked good on Saturday against Winona State, but 6 new freshmen, an entirely new starting lineup other than Selena Lott, and a new coach. So that's going to be an interesting season to watch, as will the men's season, as everyone is well aware if you have been listening to this broadcast. So we come back to play here at the Fiserv. Sakar Adam drives inside, missed the layup. Ed Morrow goes up for the board, gets called for the foul. So it'll be St. Norbert on the offensive side. It didn't look like Morrow did much wrong on the instant replay there, but there's a reason why I'm not a ref.
Yeah.
Murphy, defended by Bailey. Back inside to Murphy after they swung it around the perimeter. No good. McEwen gets another board, his 4th. Kicks it out, Sakar Adam. Drives inside, tries to give it up to Morrow. Fires a bullet pass to Adam. Adam, corner. Bailey missed the 3, just a little bit long off the back rim. Was trying to go 3 for 3 on his 3-point field goals in the second half. Adam and Howard both tried to save that. Adam was successful, and then Howard on the ensuing one wasn't. So it'll be St. Norbert inbound from their sideline. Greg Elliott and Symir Torrance come in. Adam and Howard come off. Torrance will be making his appearance at the point guard spot. Well, I guess, I don't know, maybe McEwen's the point guard right now. You have a lot of options because McEwen, Torrance, and Greg Elliott can all handle the ball. Torrance comes in for the rebound. Elliott then grabs it. Marquette pressuring. Elliott swings it to Torrance. They wanted to look inside for Morrow. Bailey drives in the lane. He got fouled. Marquette hasn't scored in 2 minutes. St. Norbert hasn't scored in 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
And St. Norbert's are 0 of their last 5, so really not having any offensive success. Really not getting the chance, though. Marquette has had possession for most of the second half.
Bailey knocks down the first. Theo John's going to be checking in for the shooter. We'll finally see that 2-big system, I guess. When Theo John comes in, he'll probably go 5. Ed Morrow will be the 4. I love the concept of the two big system, by the way. I'm a big fan of the bully ball kind of style of play. And I think Marquette might be able to do it pretty well with Morrow and Theo John.
We'll see. This is their first time really trying it out.
No Jace Johnson in the lineup tonight means that the opportunities for that go way down. Bailey drives inside, put one up for Morrow, but it was too fast and out of his reach. St. Norbert on offense. 49-30, they're down. Big block by Brendan Bailey. And he forces the miss on the ensuing shot, then grabs the rebound. Bailey, the game's leading scorer right now. As McEwen drives into the lane, gets fouled. No good on the layup, but he'll head to the charity stripe for 2.
McEwen had 3 green knights on him in that last drive, and he just put it up and just couldn't make contact with it.
No field goals from Marquette in the last 3 minutes. McEwen now at the line. Swishes the first.
Golden Eagles 7 of 9 for free throws.
One was missed by Annam, the other by Bailey. McEwen knocks down the second. So it's Torrance, Elliott, McEwen, Morrow, and Theo John. John's a bit more mobile, so he's going to play more outside on the defensive side. 3 was hoisted up there from Payan, but no good. Theo John called for an offensive foul. Wojo did not like that call.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good look on that offensive foul to have a judgment on it.
That's the 3rd personal against Theo John, so he's going to come right back out after just subbing in.
Against Indiana, he actually had fouled out in the first 10 minutes.
That's something. Fouling out in 10 minutes of play. McEwen grabs the board. Pushing tempo. Stutter step. Torrance, Elliott. Kane in the corner. Kane back to Elliott. No good. Rebound by Morrow. Bullies his way back in. Ed Morrow doing what he does best. Forcing his way back into the paint and getting one into the bucket.
Golden Eagles have 22 points from the paint, so really doing a nice job utilizing Morrow down low.
10 of those have come from Morrow. As a bit of a runner there from Patrick Danon. Falls through the rim. St. Norbert now one of their last 11. They're 33% from the field today, 12.5% from three-point land. Morrow kicks it out to Kane. He got somebody open. Jamal Kane knocks it down from the corner. Kane hesitated for a second. St. Norbert takes a timeout after Kane with the nice pump fake pass to Symir Torrance and then nails one from the near corner. 56-32.
I think the biggest surprise for me, too, especially in the second half, is how good Marquette has been on the 3-ball. I mean, obviously, Marcus Howard really hasn't had that many opportunities. He's 0 for 2 from 3, but all the other players are really playing all the other guards are really playing a big impact in the 3-ball and really just getting open. And Jamal Kane, Brendan Bailey, Kobe McEwen really knowing that, okay, I have confidence. Even though this 3-point line is extended, I have confidence and I'm going to just take it and wide open threes, and they just knock it down every time.
Yeah, confidence is such a big part on the offensive side of things. If you're not confident, you're not going to take those open shots. And especially for this Marquette team, they need a lot of these players to knock down some threes. And if they're not taking them, they're not going to make them. It's pretty simple.
Exactly, and I think that Kane, 2 times he had an open three, and he kind of just was like a little hesitant, but I think just getting that last one that he just had kind of gave him that confidence a little bit more than he had before, because he had hesitated a few times and just not taken it, just passed it off to one of his teammates.
So scoring update, it's McEwen leading the way with 12 for the Golden Eagles, Bailey at 11, and Ed Morrow at 10. There are the only 3 double-digit scorers so far in this game for either team. Jared Murphy leading the way for the Green Knights with 9, 7 for Patrick Danon. Nolan Byrne has 6, and then a couple other players in the scoring column with 4 and 2. Marquette really spreading the scoring today. As far as guys that have scored, it's Torrance, Kane, McEwen, Morrow, Howard, Bailey, Annam, John. The only players that have seen time that haven't scored are Elliott and Akano. Akano hasn't even attempted a shot in his 4 minutes, and Elliott has missed both of the threes that he took. Marquette really giving everyone some run today. The only guys that haven't played so far are Jace Johnson, who wasn't expected to play because of his knee sprain, and he's on crutches. Tommy Gardner hasn't seen any time, and then the 2 walk-ons, Brendan Carney and Michael Kennedy. Neither of them have played at all, but who knows?
Who knows?
There's another 11 minutes and 49 seconds left to play.
I'd assume maybe towards the end, Coach Wojciechowski would maybe think about putting them in just for some minutes.
At least Tommy Gardner, right? He's on scholarship.
He's on scholarship now, so he would have the opportunity to.
I guess technically Ike Eke is also on the roster, but he can't actually play because of a back injury. But of the available players, all but 3 have played. From the free throw line extended, Ethan Rineker gets a bucket. 3-pointer for the 6'3" junior from Colorado. By far the farthest player to travel to St. Norbert on this roster. Howard crosses somebody up, knocks down the jumper. Wow, baseline J after the smooth ball handling. Absolutely exposed Tyler Gowen. Put him on the floor.
Too easy for Marcus Howard. He could do that all day.
Connor Curtis misses the 3. Torrance heading the other way. Greg Elliott, back to Torrance, back to Elliott. 3. Missed again. Elliott cannot make a bucket today to save his life. 3-pointer hoisted up by Gowen, no good. Howard pulls down the second attempt at a rebound. He drives to the lane, got fouled, en route. Dexter Akano checks in, Greg Elliott comes out. This is a big time for Greg Elliott because in his freshman season he played, and then he was an important piece on the defensive and the offensive ends because he could handle the ball. He was a good distributor. He could knock down some open threes. In fact, his stats from that year, he played in 35 games, 4.5 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game. On the year, he had 30 steals and 24 blocks, which is pretty impressive for a 6'3" guy. And last year, he was riddled by injuries. He had a knee injury, he had a wrist injury, and then in the offseason, he finally got healthy. Then he got injured again. So he just hasn't been able to fully get healthy in a while, and it still seems like he's getting back to play. Like, he doesn't look like he is the full Greg Elliott that people saw in his freshman year, but he's working his way back, and this game is really important in getting him back to the form that he was.
Exactly, and just having that time to like play against competition again, which he hasn't done in a year. And I know he was saying at the open practice earlier in October, he said, I'm 85% of the way back to Greg Elliott, the Greg Elliott I used to be. So he's getting there, he's working through it, and hopefully during the season he'll kind of get that confidence back from shooting. I mean, when he was a freshman in 2017, he was 50.5% from the field and 79.2% from the free throw line. So he was a pretty integral part on both the offense and defense. And if he can get back to that level, Marquette has a plethora of guards they could choose from.
Yeah, we talked about earlier all these guys that can make an impact. There's Howard, Annam, Elliott, Torrance, Akano, Kobe McEwen. I guess you could say that Jamal Cain or Brendan Bailey might be slotted in as a guard at some points if they're going two bigs. But this team has a lot of depth at the guard spot and at big man, too. They've got 3 legitimate players that can play center. Jace Johnson, namely, has the center's body. He's 7 feet tall, and he's a ferocious rebounder. And then, of course, there's Ed Morrow and Theo John, who we've been talking about so far today. But this team has a rotation that could be really, really good. But the biggest issue is who is going to score if Marcus Howard isn't?
I mean, and I think you've seen that today, but Howard only has 6 points. He's 0 for 2 from 3. He's 3 for 6 from the field, and you're seeing Bailey step up. He has 11 points. You see Kobe McEwen, he has 12 points. Ed Morrow has 10 points. So there are a bunch of other guys who are really getting their confidence and really learning kind of the system and the rotation of this Marquette team and really being an integral part on the offense when Marcus Howard maybe isn't having the best day.
So Torrance, now the point guard, gives way to Marcus Howard. Knocks down a contested 3 from right near the Fiserv Forum logo over there. 61-35. Good look from Torrance.
It's Marcus's first 3 of the season.
Torrance is a really strong point guard. He has that point guard mentality. He was originally in the class of 2020, reclassified. He was top 50 in the country prior to his reclassification. In high school, he averaged 19.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game. And at Media Day, he was talking about how he's unselfish with the ball. He is never only looking to score. He wants to just find the open guy and see who he can give the ball to. And he really has that point guard mentality. He's calm when everyone else is nervous, and he's nervous when everyone else is calm.
And I think you've seen that in the 12 minutes he's played today. He just has 3 points, but he has 4 rebounds, 2 assists. So he's really doing a lot on kind of being a floor marshal kind of and trying to find the open guys and not necessarily scoring all the time and kind of hogging the ball. He's kind of sharing it with his teammates.
Yeah, and that's kind of the perfect complement to Marcus Howard's game. Marcus is more of a shooting guard, as we've discussed before, and even though he's in more of a point guard's body, he's a shooting guard by most of his skills. So if Torrance is able to prove to be a solid backup point guard to Kobe McEwen, then Marquette has 2 available guys that can serve the role that they so desperately needed a season ago.
Exactly, and even I think with the Hausers, I mean, Sam had 14.9 points per game and Joey had 9.7 points per game, but I don't think those were the types of players that also would kind of be that backup point guard, and they didn't really have the ability to have, if Marcus wasn't having a good day, it seemed like it always had to be Marcus scoring.
Dexter Akano got 2 fouls on the defensive side there. Jump ball is called. Howard went up into the air and he got the ball stripped, but he held on to it at the same time. So it was just a held ball.
Ooh, it looks like he fell on his shoulder, too.
He did. He looked like he was hurt when he came down. Jamal Cain takes the entry pass on the inbound and converts. McEwen, Annam, and Theo John going to check back in. Marquette, 5 of their last 7. Foul against Dexter Akano. That's his 4th. I don't know what the foul was exactly, but he got 3 fouls pretty quickly after checking into the game.
Yeah, he has only played 6 minutes, but he already has 4 fouls.
Hey, that's my dad always said when he was coaching me. You got 5 fouls. Use them.
I guess that's true.
Worth a try.
I mean, he's also a freshman, so he has a lot of time where he can kind of adjust that. And I remember when Theo John started, he was the same way. He would get 4 fouls in a short amount of time.
He was the same way last year, too. Just not as disciplined as he needed to be. Marquette pulls down the rebound, and they're going to head the other way. Howard, crossover, knocks down a three right in the face of Jack Pettit, and that is a sight that opponents see in their nightmares. Howard with a couple crosses between his legs, behind his back, and then just knock one down right in your face. Good recovery defense there from the Golden Eagles. After it appeared as if McEwen ended up on the ground, but Howard made up for it. Big three-pointer for Josh Nicholas. He's listed as 25 on the roster, but he's wearing 10 today.
It's crazy, but he actually just came in for 1 minute and already scored a three, so had a big impact with just playing 1 minute.
Howard misses a three. Morrow fights for the rebound. That'll be St. Norbert possession, but we're at the under 8 timeout. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. And Marquette leads 66-40.
Marquette has definitely pulled away in this second half. I mean, in all of the first half, they had 35 points. They already have 31, and there's still 7:36 remaining. So Golden Eagles done a really nice job of coming back from kind of a sloppy first half and kind of readjusting, saying, okay, what do we need to do here on the offensive and all the defensive, kind of finding the open guys. And, I mean, Marcus Howard now, 12 points coming back for it. He had 6 at the half, and now he already has 12. So he's had a better second half as well.
Yeah, Howard now up to 12 points, tied with McEwen for the game lead. Marquette with 4 players at double digits, 0 for St. Norbert. Murphy still with 9, their leading scorer. Murphy is shooting 4 for 7, 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. Syriac has the most rebounds on the Green Knights with 5. Morrow has the game high of 9 rebounds.
So he has a chance to get a double-double.
He does, he's close.
Then Kobe McEwen has 7 assists, so he could possibly get a double-double as well.
12 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists in 23 minutes.
He's had a huge impact already.
He is a really strong player. And if he is able to be what Marquette fans thought that he was going to be in the offseason, then he's going to be pretty dangerous, especially a combination of he and Marcus.
Yeah, exactly. And during his redshirt season, he was part of the scout team too, so he has been working with the team for that year and really been a strong player on the scout team. And then now coming in and being able to play like this and have a stat line like this is really impressive. And if he can keep up his momentum and kind of what he looks like today, I think he'll have a really good season.
So 7:36 left in the game. I'm Dan Avington alongside Zoe Comerford here at Fiserv Forum. Exhibition matchup between the St. Norbert College Green Knights and the Marquette Golden Eagles. 66-40, Marquette leads. Over halfway through the final half of play. Marquette's only exhibition matchup at home. They'll play host to Loyola, Maryland in their season opener in a week. As Kobe McEwen gets the rebound, gives it to Elliott in transition, and Marquette's going to regroup. Inside. Theo John had an open Kobe McEwen on the outside, but he fired one really low. Just a miscommunication. Nothing you can do about that one, really. Well, I guess, other than make the right pass.
Yeah, I guess. Pass it a little higher.
He thought well, but. Theo John smacks one away. Wow, that one was emphatic. You could see that one coming from a mile away. John came about 4 steps across the paint in about a half second and just slammed that one into the backboard. Matt Lynch had no chance, absolutely none.
It's not something new, though. Theo John had 2.06 block shots, and he led the Big East last year, so it's not something new for him. He is keeping that up from last season.
He's an athletic marvel. He's a huge guy, and he can absolutely smack the ball when he gets up there. Annam, a nice transition dunk after the steal by Greg Elliott. Marquette running away with this one, up 68-40.
But it didn't look like that in the first half.
No. It took a little while for Marquette to get acclimated. Nice little elbow jumper from Carson Talbert for the Green Knights. His first bucket of the game. St. Norbert has 19 players on their roster, and they've used almost all of them today.
I believe they've used 15 or 16.
McEwen just badly airballed a three.
Something we haven't seen yet. He was open, too.
Wide open. Lynch gets another. Well, no, that was his first bucket. He almost had the one against Theo John, but Theo had other plans.
He got it right past Theo John on that last play, though.
Made up for it. Kobe McEwen, a little jumper action. Referee takes a timeout. I don't know what happened, but Elliott came off. I don't know if he's hurt or bleeding or, oh God. Hope Greg Elliott's not hurt.
No,
again.
He looks like he's limping a little bit, and he's going back into the locker room, I think.
One of the worst parts of being an athlete is the constant injuries. And sometimes when you get one injury, it is really difficult to stay healthy.
Yeah, and he's had his fair share of them with the thumb and then the knee. Definitely doesn't want to waste another season of not being able to play.
Theo John, another block, and then a foul called against Talbert. Kind of clotheslined McEwen. Kobe sold that one pretty well. Could be an actor if he wanted to.
Hey, that's part of the game. You got to sell those sometimes.
Elliott's coming back to the bench, but he's a little bit gimpy. So, we'll see. Annam, or no, I think that was McEwen that missed the tray. Ocano missed the putback, but then Theo John composed himself, waited a second for somebody to come down from jumping, and went up, got the easy bucket.
I think that's something that he has to do a little bit more and to kind of take his time instead of rushing to force those shots that aren't going to go in.
Good defense from Ocano. Shot was forced up by St. Norbert. Number 24, Jordan Newman, out of Lincolnshire, Illinois. John gets one inside, gets hacked, and missed the shot, but he'll be going to the free throw line to shoot some after the media timeout. 72-44, Marquette is up. Kobe McEwen pacing the Golden Eagles with 14 points. Marcus Howard up to 12, 11 each from Brendan Bailey, or just 11 from Bailey, 10 for Morrow. 8 for Annam and Kane, 6 for Theo John, probably more to come on the free throws. Torrance added a tray. For St. Norbert, nobody in double digits. Murphy with 9, though. Danon had 7, has 7, not had. Byrne with 6.
I think Murphy, for me, is a surprise that he's done so well in this game. I thought it was going to be Syriacs, but obviously he's only had 4 points in this game. But Murphy has done a really nice job of he's 4 for 7. He has 9 points, and his average last season was 10.1 points per game. So he's had a pretty good day. For his standards, definitely really been that offensive presence, trying to get anything going for St. Norbert's offense.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's kind of a guard-forward hybrid, especially for playing D3 when there's more undersized guys. So he can play forward, but he's also got the shiftiness of a guard. And he's gotten himself open a couple times today, knocked down some contested shots. So he's been having a good day.
But as a team, their offense is not.
No, he and Danon are about the only ones that have looked somewhat good today, and Danon's had a pretty sweet little jumper, surprisingly, for a 6'8" guy.
I mean, if you're looking at their stats, I mean, they're 4 for 22, 18% from 3, and then 20 for 61 from the field. So really not doing anything on offense. I mean, obviously some of that credit has to go to Marquette's really good defense and kind of zoning in on those players, double teaming them. But I think you can't hit 33% when you're playing this Marquette team.
So 3:44 remaining. I'm Dan Abington alongside Zoe Comerford here at Fiserv Forum. Marquette with their last exhibition of the season. Really their only exhibition, because the scrimmage against Indiana was a closed scrimmage. So I don't know if you can consider that an exhibition or just kind of a practice. I don't know what that was considered.
I would say it was a practice.
But personally, I think this is the only exhibition of the Marquette season. And they're looking pretty good. I mean, it was a tough first half, but sometimes that happens, especially with newer squads.
Exactly, but I mean, they definitely got to figure that out before. I mean, playing Purdue at November 13th, you have to figure out, okay, we can't start slow, because if Purdue gets too big of a lead, they're just going to take that away.
John makes the second after he missed the first. Pass inside for Danon. Missed it. Rebound, though. Collision by a couple Marquette players, and foul is called against the Golden Eagles. That goes against Symir Torrance. Called a block against him.
So that'll be Matt Lynch at the line.
Trying to figure out who the couple players that haven't played yet for St. Norbert are. Jared Davis, it looks like, hasn't played. Has Schlicht played at all?
No.
No. And Luke Rogers. No, Rogers has played.
Rogers said.
Joe Lemon hasn't played, right.
Yeah, because he can't. So of the available players, only 2 haven't.
Oh, Theo John just took Patrick Danon to school. Oh, man, he just bodied him.
Made it look easy.
One dribble. Just use your force. Use those big shoulders that you got, and Theo elevated right over the 6'8" Danon and just yammed one home.
Really using his strength and kind of showing that off, as he does.
Theo John doing Theo John things. 3 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. Marquette leads 75-46. Free throws for Carson Talbert after the foul by Bailey. Just his first. Eight fouls against Marquette, so it's the single bonus.
Carson Talbert sinks both his free throws. He's a freshman, so those are his first free throws of his career.
Got to be nice to make a couple free throws in an NBA arena. Bailey with a floater, elevated above his defender and got one to rattle home, now with 13 points. Missed 3 by St. Norbert, and Dexter Acano gets the rebound. Interesting thing about Dexter, he claims he has never been in an NBA arena before coming to Marquette. So the first practice that Marquette had at Fiserv Forum was the first time he was ever in an NBA arena, and he was practicing on the floor. And
wow,
now,
that's got to be fun.
Now he's playing in a game.
Got to be exciting for him, and he's going to take his first free throws of his career.
Trying to get the first points. Tommy Gardner going to check in. Acano makes the first. Gardner comes in for Theo John. Gardner gets a healthy cheer from the crowd. Acano misses the second. They're going to feed Tommy Gardner. Acano gets it inside, and he got whacked by Patrick Danon, who helps him up. But rough collision. Acano with nice instincts to charge inside on that ball.
He really wanted that one, you could tell.
It looked like Acano just wanted to slam that one, and Danon wanted none of that. Acano misses the first, so he's 1 for 3.
It's got to be nerve-wracking, though.
Oh, it has to be.
All the fans counting on you?
I couldn't do it when there were 4 fans watching my CYO games, let alone all these people with their eyes on you. But a little bit different. These guys are a little bit better than I was, although that's hard to admit. Torrance threw that one off the foot of one of the St. Norbert players. Danon could have grabbed that one, but he let it go. He thought that, that was off of a Marquette player.
I think he thought it was off of Torrance.
I think right here you feed Tommy Gardner. Get him his first points. Bailey goes inside. Gets a little short jumper to make him the game's leading scorer, 15. 6-0 run for Marquette over the last minute. Ending it on a high note.
3 of their last 3 have really done great things on the offense.
Danon gets fouled by Gardner. Hey, you got to make an appearance in the box score somehow, Tommy figured.
I guess.
You get a foul. That means that everyone knows you played.
He also has a rebound.
Oh, he does have a rebound. My apologies.
Yeah, he got that 1 rebound before Bailey scored.
Danon misses the first. Michael Kennedy comes in. Freshman walk-on. Fans trying to get some Shake Shack.
And they really want that Shake Shack. So
I don't know if that's even a promotion tonight, but we'll see.
oh, he made it anyway.
He knocked it down. Sad for the fans.
Danon was 3 for 3 last season in free throws, actually. But I guess he only had 3, but still.
Only 3 free throws in an entire season? Wow. He only played 8 games.
That's true.
And it was probably garbage minutes.
All right, let's see if Tommy Gardner scores here.
Backs him down. Gardner gets a bucket. Tommy Gardner in the post.
It's his first points of his Marquette career, even though he played last year as a walk-on. He didn't score any points.
Post operator Tommy Gardner.
That's got to feel good for him.
He didn't show it, though.
Yeah, I guess not.
He's pretty emotionless. Doesn't let you in on what he's thinking. Talbert gets a bucket of his own. Brendan Carney's going to check in for Jamal Kane. So it'll be Acano, Torrance, Gardner, Carney, and Kennedy. Don't expect to see this lineup very often.
No, definitely not. But maybe sometimes in the non-conference.
I guess.
At the end of okay, at the end of games. Obviously not against Purdue, but at the end of some of the games.
Acano drives in. No foul, but Gardner gets his second bucket, cleaning up the glass.
2 for 2 for Tommy Gardner. Impressive.
Big block by Symir Torrance, and it's Marquette ball. It's funny, Tommy Gardner is pretty much the last guy off the bench scholarship-wise, and he is taller than everyone in the St. Norbert's, pretty much their entire rotation other than Patrick Danon. It really shows you the distinction between D1 and D3.
Definitely.
Kennedy chucks one up.
Wow.
Michael Kennedy knocks one down in his first game.
That's exciting. I mean, you come in for 2 minutes and you score 3. That's got to be a confidence booster for him.
Couple big buckets today.
Everybody getting in on the action for Marquette.
Give it to Carney. Get him his first bucket.
There's not enough time.
out. Kennedy gets mobbed after, but Marquette takes an 88-51 victory over the St. Norbert College Green Knights. Not the prettiest start for the Golden Eagles, but they really ramped it up in that second half.
I mean, yeah, Dan, in the second half, they had 53 points alone. I mean, in the first half, they were struggling with only those 35 points, but in the second half, really ramped it up. They ended up shooting 57%, 6% from 3, so really nice job from on the perimeter and really showing their range tonight.
Bailey led the way with 15 points for the Golden Eagles. McEwen had 14, 12 for Howard, and 10 for Ed Morrow. Morrow led the way in rebounds as well with 9, 1 rebound away from a double-double. Kobe McEwen, his final stat line was 14 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Doing it all tonight was the redshirt junior from Canada. And it's a good night to be a Marquette fan. Big win in the only exhibition of the year. It's over a D3 team, but still nice to see.
Yeah, got to be a huge confidence booster for the Golden Eagles as they head into the regular season, playing Loyola Maryland next week. I mean, you have the atmosphere at Fiserv Forum, and you're thinking, all right, so there's going to be probably more people for the season opener, but just having the initial time and getting your chemistry with your team and kind of learning how you play in different systems, rotations, it's really going to be an interesting season.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Marquette Radio. We want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight to Marquette versus St. Norbert. Marquette takes home the 88-51 victory in their only exhibition. Next week, Marquette takes on Loyola Maryland in their first matchup of the season, and it's going to be a big one. So Marquette takes the victory against St. Norbert. Once again, I'm Dan Abington. For Zoe Comerford, we say thank you. Have a good night.